Coming off a pretty good community weekend for Sea of Thieves, as well as being #1 download-wise for PS5 in US, Canada, and Europe, seems like things are going pretty well for Sea of Thieves, but there are troubling waters afoot. Sea of Thieves players count is crashing, according to a few sites, including Game Rant, link below in the description section. It seems that the Sea of Thieves player count on PS5 is already sinking after initial strong launch period. Sea of Thieves is currently part of the expansion of Xbox exclusives to other platforms, but it seems to be struggling to keep players on board. After over 6 years of exclusivity on PC and Xbox, Sea of Thieves finally made its way to PS5 back in April. The game was extremely well received on Sony's console, giving PlayStation gamers a chance to finally play one of the best pirate games on the market. It found instant popularity on the platform, and upon launch, Sea of Thieves was one of the most popular games on the PS5. Although these early numbers are impressive, Sea of Thieves is a live service game that lives and dies on its ability to retain players over time. One report indicates it's struggling to do that at the moment. With the numbers courtesy of Game Insight's tracking active PSN accounts, report by True Trophies indicates that Sea of Thieves has already lost 58% of its PS5 player base since it launched back in April. While Sea of Thieves is still topping PlayStation sale charts, the live service title is clearly having some issues retaining players at the moment, with no sign of the decline stabilizing according to the report. While it's difficult to put it down to one particular reason for the drop in players, it's certainly possible to speculate, which I'll do in a moment. First, a natural drop in player count from launch should always be expected for most games, which is true. On top of this, PS5 players are jumping into Sea of Thieves after 6 years of constant updates, which can make joining for the first time a daunting task. It's possible the new player experience is proving too much for some players, which is fair. Then there's a recent launch of other popular live service games for the PS5, such as XDefiant, as well as Multiverses. By the way, if you want some XDefiant content, be sure and check out my fiance, Riley Blackfox. She's currently covering XDefiant over on her channel. So games like XDefiant's Multiverses could be drawing players' attention away from Sea of Thieves, and there's always other games coming out, so that's an issue as well. But despite the player retention problems for Sea of Thieves on PS5, the game has plenty for players to be excited about. At the recent Xbox Game Showcase over the weekend, Rare gave players a glimpse at Sea of Thieves Season 13, which will allow players to become villains for the first time. Not really, because you could already be a villain in Sea of Thieves if you want to be. We are pirates after all, not exactly the good guys. Rare has done a great job keeping players engaged with the new content so far. Hoping to release Season 13 in July will bring more PS5 players back on board. Overall, pretty decent article from Game Rant. I will link them below in the description section. So my opinion about it mostly aligns with their take, which is why I appreciate the article. Yeah, this happens with a lot of new online service games. You'll get people on board, and then they'll play it for a week or so, and it'll either become overwhelming for them, and they'll stop playing for a minute or two, or they're simply just busy with real life stuff, or they're playing other games. And it's the same thing in various other games I play, like, for example, GTA Online, which is over a decade old now. And, the player count goes down when there's no new update. Or when there is a new update, like the summer update coming up on June 25th, that will bring more players back to GTA Online for a certain amount of time. And then the numbers will drop back down once more. The same thing is going to happen with Sea of Thieves. Right now, the number is down dramatically, 58%, which is concerning. But in late July, we're getting Season 13, which is going to bring forth Flameheart, the return of Flameheart, as well as the ability for players to take command of his flagship, the Burning Blade. And as the article also mentions, there's the intimidation factor. You have a game that has 6+ years of content. It is amazing for a player to come into this game and have all this stuff to do, all these different guilds to join and tall tales, but at the same time, I can understand how it can feel overwhelming. And for new pirates out there that are on the PS5, my advice is to stay on PS5 for now, or try it out in safer seas for a quick minute until you feel comfortable with the sloop and with the basics of Sea of Thieves before you move over to high seas. I've been saying that for, about a month now. I'll be sure to mention that in a future Starter's Guide video. But I do think the numbers for PS5 pirates on Sea of Thieves will eventually go back up. And unfortunately, there are people that will buy a game, play a game, and it turns out not to be for them, and then they move on to something else and they never come back. That's just a reality. But overall, I think Sea of Thieves is doing quite well. For example, the Season 12 Community Weekend went pretty good. 52.9 million cannonballs fired, 279 million walked on harpoons, 700,000 skeletons summoned with bone collars, over 290 million gold earned, and we reached tier 5 in the community weekend, like sometime Saturday afternoon, when we had like half of the event weekend still left to go in order to get those 100,000 voyages as a community. And I think that we exceeded the goals of Rare and Sea of Thieves. So the community is pretty strong across all platforms, PC, Xbox, as well as those pirates that are still playing on PS5. Yeah, that number has dropped by over half at the moment, but I think that will go back up once we have Season 13 in late July. But if there are PS5 pirates out there that feel overwhelmed, I am going to do a starter guide video, just the basics, that hopefully might help a lot of you starting Sea of Thieves pirates out there get into Sea of Thieves. Yes, I know there's quite a few amazing starter guide videos already. I just feel like I'm going to make my own, and hopefully it helps out anyone that is still relatively new to Sea of Thieves, whether it's on the PS5, Xbox, or PC. Do you think that the 58% drop is concerning for PS5 pirates in Sea of Thieves? Or do you think that the number will eventually go back up once Season 13 drops on July 25th? Your thoughts, views, and opinions, welcome, as always, below in the comments section.